minutes to master, tools to explore. Let your imagination soar like never before. AI Tool Time with Rick McCawley, where your digital dreams come true.
Once again, Brandon, the producer, standing in. I don't know what happened. We didn't hear whatever you said, Rick.
Oh, that I didn't have a drop for you, so we got an empty table in front of you. I wasn't even sure when you told me we were going to do this tonight. I wasn't even sure what CLI was for, what it's about, but it's part of Google's AI Studio stuff, right? More or less.
Actually, no. Surprisingly, not. We're gonna teach you. So this presentation, by the way, if you ever need a presentation, Notebook LM deep dive plus slide deck for the win.
Yes.
This took about 20 minutes to put this whole presentation together. And when I told you, Rick, when we pre-gamed for the show a couple of hours ago, that I was like, yeah, I could put together a CLI presentation. I had no CLI presentation.
Right.
So
this is proof that we're actually using the tools we're telling you that are just amazing, and we're about to see just how amazing they are. So don't disappoint.
Yeah, and so let's take a step back. So for most of what everybody's doing is when we're interacting with AI, we're acting with AI in a browser or on our mobile device, right? And so you're connecting to the internet, you're going to an app or a web browser, and you're experiencing that AI inside of another system. Right, you're going.
I'm sorry, I had to put that up there. I love you, Claire, with a lobster emoji. Just saying hi. Sorry. Okay.
No worries. It's good. It's all good.
It's good to have a show.
And so, what this gives you the opportunity to do is take that large language model, and if you have the tech specs, you can put it on your computer and run it in the terminal. The terminal, for older folks like us, it's the command line. It's what computers used to be before Windows and Mac OS came around. Everything was command line prompts.
And just to give you guys a little bit of heads up, I am not a coder, but I have gone to the terminal in a Macintosh, and it's actually pretty simple. And Brandon has already told me this is something I could probably do.
Yep. And so Gemini CLI. So CLI just stands for command line interface. And Rick, you could absolutely do this.
Okay.
So all this is saying is basically you're using that command line. You're using old school prompting, the original prompting to write in information into your computer to tell the computer what to do. And it is your new AI Studio Assistant. So what we've presented here is a visual guide to unlocking Google's most powerful agent directly on your desktop.
Gotcha.
So traditionally, that terminal was for people like me, coders, engineers, people who had technical deep knowledge. But what it in practice allows you to do is a distraction-free canvas where your words become actions, files, and functional prototypes.
Okay.
So let's get into it.
Yeah.
So we're going to escape the browser sandbox. So stop chatting about your work and start chatting with your files. So
So to tie this together with the LobsterBot, so if you were to install, I'm going to call it LobsterBot because that's only if you install it, you're going into a command line. So you download a piece of software that kind of installs it automatically. So it's basically an installer package in a traditional sense. But are you having to go into the browser and start at ground zero to install this? Or you're going to terminal to do this install?
Yeah, we're going to go directly to the terminal. And so, traditionally, what your browser is, it's trapped in that sandbox. If you wanted to give something to the browser, you have to upload the file. You have to connect it to your Google Drive. You have to copy and paste data into the browser versus the command line is already on your system. So once you set this up, and we're going to talk about how to do that, all you have to do is say, hey, look at these files. Where are the files? It's wherever you're using the command line interface, and it makes it really easy to use. It's
how does
inside
this
your computer.
How does this compare to Lovable, where you're saying, make me this app, and then it goes and does it? Is it kind of like that?
So Lovable is building something. It's creating something.
Okay.
On the internet. So it's basically taking your prompt or your English and it's converting it into computer code.
Okay.
Doing something and building a website.
Good. Okay.
Is it saying, I want to rename all of these files on my computer, but I don't know what the command is, and I don't have time to go in and double click on each one and right click and click rename or command click and rename this file and type it in.
Right.
All I have to do now is it's taking the power of Gemini natural language and putting it in the command line. So instead of having to know like all the commands, you can just say, hey, see all those files? Can you put the current date on all of them and resave them with the current file name?
Okay. So Claude came out with this ability that you had 10,000 documents on your desktop and it would rename them and organize them and structure them. So there's that.
This is the Google version of that.
Aha. Yes.
So it's not a chatbot, it's an agent. So Gemini CLI is an open source AI agent powered by a React loop, a reason and act. So it doesn't just talk to you.
Reason and act.
So it has that agentic capability of reasoning built in. So it can plan tasks, execute tools, and validate the results. So using Gemini 3, it thinks about what you ask it to do. It's like, okay, you've just asked me to rename 10,000 files.
Yes.
Well, I have to figure out if I have 10,000 files.
I literally am trying to do. So let me explain. So I'm going to be your interpreter for the 10-year-old in the audience, right? So I have literally 10,000 files on my Google Notebook Drive right now. And there's multiple documents that are the same document. So I wanted to go and check which ones are the right ones, which are the wrong ones, rename them, put them into categories and folders, which you can do in Google Drive right now. Very limited amounts, though. I literally have 3,000 documents for my Grok book and different revisions that I don't even know what's what anymore. So I've been kind of throwing it all at Notebook LM and then say, write me those 17 chapters because Donald Trump just came up with part of my fictional book in real time, like the recent incidents. So I had to rewrite my book to accommodate that new thing that really happened so that it's not really a fiction. Because my idea is that I'm running a fiction in real time as stuff is happening in real time, but I want to adjust it. So I want to have it come out anyway. So so this would be exactly what I've been waiting for.
Yeah. So what it's going to do is it's going to help you read files. It's going to do Google search. So as long as you're connected to the internet, it can go out and get to the internet, and it can write code and do whatever it needs to do.
Those are 3 duplicate files. This one used the name Lisa instead of Oh my God. So it's reacting and reasoning
and it's observing. And it's observing. So it's at the same time, it is its own supervisor. So what it's going is it's recursively going through and saying, okay, I renamed that file. Let me go back and check my work. Did I rename that file the right way? Is it consistent with the other file naming structure that I did? Okay. I'm gonna have to refine the plan because Rick told me that 10 of these files were actually about what X, but 4 of them were, it seems like they were about Y because they were misnamed. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to ask Rick for clarification.
So that's actually
all 2 files or just the 4?
That's reasoning. So it's reasoning through and saying, so this literally happened all the way through the book. I was using the name Lisa based on my ex-wife, and I decided to change it to Laura, my daughter's name. So when I threw everything at the kitchen sink at it and said, Notebook LM, work it out, every other time it said Lisa, then it went back to Laura. And I had to make a foundational thing that, hey, the final name is going to be, which I'm now thinking I want to go back. So this would be aware of what I've done in the past. So it's a sequence of events. Is this multiple agents with a fact checker agent and are there separate
components?
components?
One super agent that assumes multiple roles. So it's like that old skit where they're like, I want to talk to the manager, and they're like, yeah, I'll be right back. I'm the manager now, right?
That's it.
And so that it is perfect. Moving through that structure. So think of it as a junior developer, research assistant combined, sitting inside your keyboard, ready to execute complex workflows from a single sentence.
Wow.
Hang on, my OCD is going to catch up to me if I don't reverse thread the chair. So back to production.
I love it. Do you think that you've done a lot of coding before? do you ever think that there's some of your personality that comes through? Would you think that you would have a chatbot that would have to turn the other way all of a sudden?
It's entirely possible.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so keep on going. This is good. I love it.
Yeah. So the prerequisite is you have to install the engine. And so this is about as technical as we're going to get. Node.js. It is a file. You don't need to know how it works. Just like you don't need to know how the engine of your car works.
Exactly.
Right.
But
you
I
don't
can
need
change
to know
the
how
oil.
it works. You just
I can
know
change the
that
oil.
this goes in.
Okay.
And then you layer on Gemini CLI, which you install. And that's the AI driver. So that's the autonomous Waymo, at the controls. And then you plus your input is you get your creation. So it's called a runtime environment that allows JavaScript tools to live on your computer. So you don't need to know how to code in Node. You just need it installed. You just need to turn the key.
Okay.
And it does require Node.js version 20 plus, which is what they recommend. And it goes through all of this, right? So I have two different versions because we have a split audience here. So half of the team is Team Windows and half of the team is Team Mac. So when I created this in Notebook LM after the deep research, I said, make sure you give me both because somebody's going to be up in our comments going, but I'm on a Mac. I don't know how to do this. So this is for our Windows people. Mac people, go refill your drink. Go get the scotch because you're going to need it later. But for Windows people, stick with me. This is your time to shine. You're going to go to nodejs.org and download the LTS version. It's called an MSI installer, which is a fancy way for you're just like you can download any file from the internet to execute on your system. And you're going to want to make sure you check the box. It's going to say, do you want to add to path? Don't have to worry about what that means right now. You're going to want to check yes.
Going to put it somewhere.
Once you do that, if you do get an error, you open PowerShell. And if you don't know what PowerShell is, every Windows PC has PowerShell. And you just type into the search bar PowerShell, and you'll see Windows PowerShell will pop up. And you open it up, and it'll just be a terminal window. And you're like, what the heck do I do with this? All you have to do is if you do see scripts disabled, and you can right click on it, run into an admin. But if you see an error that says scripts disabled, all you have to do is say set execution policy remote signed.
Y. Yes. Just hit the Y. Okay.
You hit the Y, and why you don't need to know because it's gonna fix your error.
Why? Because we love
you. And then because that is literally all you have to do to set your prerequisite for building this thing. Now, in Mac OS, you've got two options. The installer, so you can download the LTS version. It's a packaged version from the nodejs.org. When you go to nodejs.org, it's going to ask you a Windows guy or a PC or a Mac, and you just run it like any other standard Mac installer. If you want to get technical, you want to get a little bit into the weeds, you can open your terminal and run the command brew install node and then type in node-v and it'll tell you that you've installed the node version. So either way, whether you're doing it through nodejs.org or through the command line, bottom line is you got to have node installed. And it takes about 10 minutes to install. It's pretty easy.
And a lot of hard drive space. So if I've got a recent Mac, I'm good with this.
Yeah. 16 gigabytes of space is what they recommend.
Hard drive space.
Hard drive space for the full experience.
Is there a RAM necessity or speed of processor?
Depends on how fast you want your agent to work.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. It'll flag it to you if it doesn't think you're installing it in an environment that it doesn't have. So once you get Node.js installed, and Rick, you could feel free to do this if you just go to nodejs.org right now. While I go over this next part, you can download it on the side, and then you can run this after the show. But next thing you need to do now that you've built your house with Node.js, the next thing you need to do is bring the agent home. And this is the same whether you're on a Windows PC or a Mac users. If you do see a permission denied, you have to add the word sudo to the start. So it's sudo npm install. Sudo is super user. Do this.
So you have to have permissions on your machine that you can install stuff at the root. Okay.
Yep. So sudo is the term for super user. Do this, and it's basically giving the terminal permission to do whatever, to run the command. So
I like it.
npm is a node package manager. That's what is basically you've just installed Node.js. Now you're saying the package manager. You're basically telling the delivery person that you want to install. The action is going to install or download the -G global flag. So I want to install this everywhere in my system. I want to give this agent access to my entire
ability
system.
to get to the whole thing. Okay.
Yep. So npm install -G, and it's very specific. If you put an extra space in here or use a different character, it's going to error out. So just make sure you type this exactly. All right. See you, Claire. Thanks for coming. And so then,
Claire, by the way, next week we're going to have you doing this on your machine at home, and then come to my house. I'll send you plane tickets.
There you go. And then the last component is at Google/Gemini-CLI, and that's you're basically telling it to go out onto the internet, go to Google, and find this Gemini CLI and install it on your machine.
Nice.
Then you're going to want to go get some coffee, because it's going to take a while. This one takes a while to download because you have to download the entire thing. And what this is doing is it's basically taking Gemini and putting it on your local machine, a version of Gemini on your local machine.
Perfect. Okay.
So now you have to authenticate. You still have to give it permission to use your Gemini or your Gmail account.
Let me understand something real quickly, though, before you go any further. So an API key, if I have Google itself, I'm paying my $20 a month. Can it just use that copy of Google?
Yep.
Or do I have to put the API? What is an API?
Yeah. So the application programming interface key is basically, if you didn't have Google account, your own Gmail tied in, you could go to Google Cloud and get a specific key that you pay for.
So that's your credit card that gives you,
this,
that's going to charge you per use kind of thing.
Yeah, per use. And it's actually, for most times, it's actually cheaper to do it that way, because if you're paying $20 a month, you get however many prompts you get. You probably hit the ceiling. But if you're paying with the API key,
with Notebook LM, I recently have been hitting the ceiling.
Yeah, but with an API key tied to your credit card, the ceiling is your credit card limit, right? It'll just keep pulling, but it also costs less. So for the average user, you're probably using less than $20 a month's worth of prompts.
Okay.
So you may only be using $12 a month.
Can you say turn off the spigot at $50?
Yeah, in your account, in your cloud account. So you go to Google
you have to
Cloud,
put API credits in there, and you
put your API credits in, and you can either say stop working once I hit this limit, or replenish once I hit this limit. But in any event, you're paying pennies on the dollar. Google is very optimized, so you can have thousands and thousands and thousands of prompts, and maybe only use $6.
And you're running this on your device. So are you going up to the cloud to run Nana Banana?
You are authenticating through the cloud, so you're authenticating into your Gemini, because
if I had 1,000 images that I needed to make for Nana Banana, I could throw it a script and leave it over the weekend. Knowing what my upper limit would be. Yeah.
Okay. So once you do this line,
and you're signing in.
Go do the thing. Download it. Then you're going to open your PowerShell or your terminal, and you're going to just type the word Gemini. And the first time you do it, it's going to say, how do you want to do this? Do you want to log in with Google and use your $20 a month plan? Or do you want to give me an API key and just pay as you go?
Wow.
And then once you say, I want to log in with Google, it's smart enough. It's going to pop open your browser, because remember, the terminal is what controls everything. So it'll literally just say, hey, computer, I need you to open the browser and log into Google. And so it's going to log in, and it's going to say, do you trust Gemini CLI to use your stuff? Like, yes. Okay. Then it's going to close that browser, and it's going to say, okay, you're logged in. And then it's going to use, here's the beauty of it. Even if you're not paying $20 a month, you can use Gemini 2.5 free, and you get 1,000 requests a day.
Oh, wow.
60. You get 1 million token window, You get 60 requests a minute or 1,000 requests a day for free. So even if you're not paying the $20 a month, even if you just have a Gmail account that you've never touched Gemini before, you don't have to use the $20 a month plan. You get more. You get the pro and thinking and reasoning more with
which
the $20 a month.
Yeah.
But I'm saying for if you're watching this and you're like, oh gosh, I don't want to pay another $20 a month for I already pay $20 a month for Perplexity or ChatGPT. You don't need to pay $1 more.
If you're trying to take your entire family and put them in a dozen different Nana Banana pictures, you can run that puppy probably for free and get enough stuff for your next holiday book slideshow for your trip to Paris you never took. So let me, before we get too much further, how is this comparing to what I just scared the hell out of people about, which is the LobsterBot thing, right? So you're doing the same thing.
The LobsterBot, is basically giving the AI access to your entire machine, and it has autonomy, versus Gemini's agent is call and response. So you're giving it specific direction, and it's going to do that one thing, execute that one thing, and stop, and it's going to check in with you.
So give me 10,000 Nana Banana pictures, and then put them in a folder, and then organize them per person.
And it's going to say, and it's going to think about it and go, okay, I need to go to Gemini. I need in order to do that, I need to. Okay, well, and it's going to come back to you like 5 minutes and say, okay, that's a lot of images. How about we just do 5 to start, and tell me what those 5 are, because you haven't even told me what. I can give you 10,000 images, but before we burn through all your API credits, maybe we should ask what these pictures are, right? So that's the difference. It's going to check in with you, and it's very hard to break it, right?
Gotcha.
And there's a ton of YouTube videos out there about how to use this. So if you want to go down the rabbit hole on this, there's a ton of resources out there on Google on how to work this. So this is just the high level. So let's say now that you're authenticated, your first session, it's going to say, welcome. Do you want dark, light, or high contrast mode? And the one thing to know about Terminal is your mouse doesn't really do you any good, because Terminal is a interface that predates the mouse. Your arrow keys, your keyboard is going to be your best friend. So go left, go right, go up, go down. Yes, your finger exercises. Exactly. But if you need help navigating, all you have to remember is /help.
Okay.
And /help wherever you are after you've set your settings.
Tells you the options. And
you can type hello, who are you, to verify the connection. And it'll say, I'm Gemini and I'm a helpful bot. What can I do for you today? If you want to open the configuration and change your model or change your theme, you can just do a /settings. If you are searching for something that maybe you don't want to share with the world, and somebody walks in, you can do a /clear and it'll wipe you.
There goes my grok pictures.
And then /quit to exit, or you could just X out of the
Okay.
So here, now let's talk about some use cases, right? Vibe coding, pixel to code. So if you give it an image and you say, hey, I have an image in this folder, and I want you to turn this sketch into a working HTML CSS page. I'm going to drag and drop the image into the terminal and prompt it, and it's going to use Gemini and analyze the visual layout and write the actual files to your hard drive, so you don't have to copy and paste anything.
Okay, I like that.
Hey, Steve-O, welcome in. We're just talking Gemini command line interface and how do you install it and what you can do with it. So it's recorded, so if you want to rewind and go back, it'll be available after the show. But the next use case is the deep researcher. So if you want to read a specific local file, a PDF text or code, you don't have to upload it. You can just say, hey, at report.pdf, summarize the key design trends. And it'll go to that file, read the entire contents of the directory or the file. If you say at folder, then it's going to read the actual contents of the folder. So
is everything you're doing command line, or can I install a voice activated system where I just talk to it like I do in Gemini?
Right now it's command line. It's CLI's command line interface.
Okay.
So it's designed to work. So, but at connects Gemini to your local context. So you can Google search grounding enabled. So
how far can control? Can it run Photoshop for me autonomously if I tell it what to do?
It can do anything that it can do from the command line. So it is so what it could do, if you asked it to update an image in Photoshop, what it would probably do is write itself a piece of Python script that would allow it to access and run Photoshop.
Yeah, the Adobe products do use XML documents. XML.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can do a script. I've seen people automate the system of publishing an entire publication. So there's 10,000 pictures and get them all lined up. And as soon as you hit the styles, you say go, and then you come back after lunch, and it's a PDF package up and ready to go out for publication.
So here's what I'm going to do. Steve-O just joined. So we're just going to do a quick high-level review.
Okay.
Going back to the beginning. Just Steve-O, this one's just for you. What we're talking about doing is running Gemini locally on your machine. It's free. It's easy to install. And it basically converts you from taking the browser chat into a local chat on your computer that can access all your files. So you want to stop chatting about your work and start chatting with your files.
Gotcha.
So it's not a chatbot, it's an agent, and it follows the React protocol. So it's going to reason using Gemini. It's going to read your files. It's going to observe what it's doing, and it's going to refine as necessary. So all you need to know is it runs on Node.js, which you can install for free. Then you install Gemini CLI, and you get your output. And so you're like, okay, well, that's all well and good, but I don't know what Node.js is. If you're on a Windows PC, you download it from nodejs.org.
All right.
If you're on a Mac
I could have
OS,
done this part.
Just, download the LTS version from nodejs.org. So when you go onto nodejs.org, it's going to say Windows or Mac, and then it'll allow you to install it. And then once you're in terminal, which is how computers used to be run before Windows and Mac, you just type this line.
And you use your fingers.
And you use your fingers to coordinate.
To do the walk.
And it will, that's Yellow Pages. And so once you install it, you effectively have Gemini on your local machine. And then you type Gemini, you log in with your Google account. But here's what's critical. Even at the free tier, even if you're not paying for Google, you get Gemini 2.5, you get 1 million tokens, you get 60 requests a minute or 1,000 requests a day, even for free.
So let's get to like, what are the biggest things you can do? So a website, you can do some deep research, which you could do in Gemini itself, right? Even voice activated.
Yep. So the asset manager.
Renaming. This is one. Okay.
So you have disorganized files.
Yeah.
Rick, I think I took a screenshot of your actual hard drive here. Look at these images, rename them based on their visual content, and move them into a processed folder. So what it's going to do is it's going to open the file, analyze it, rename it, and put it into a processed folder.
So this could be on your Google Drive because you can access your Google Drive locally, theoretically. Yes. And your Dropbox, perhaps, if you got a local. Mm-hmm. How about your NAS server? So I'm setting up my NAS server with 40 terabytes. If I wanted to just run on that, could I install on that?
Well, yeah, you install it on your local machine because your NAS server is just a virtual hard drive, a network attached storage. So you would install this on your machine that is accessing the NAS server, and then you tell it, go out to the NAS server and edit the files. And as long as you can access the NAS server, it can access the NAS server.
So let me blow my own mind here for just a second. I've got 10 billion pictures of my son and daughter, Ben and Laura. I could go back and say, here's 10,000 pictures, organize them between Ben and Laura, and then put them in chronological age based upon what they look like, baby to 28-year-old.
Yep. And that's one day's worth of prompts.
Right. Okay. I got you. Because it's having to open up every single one and look at it, sort of.
Yep.
And then, so how long would something, if it was literally 1,000 files, let's say, how long might that take? And then it would go through, and if I told it this is what they looked like in 2010, then it would use that as a chronological age and then date it by the month and the year.
Because those pictures have metadata attached to them
Right.
that Gemini can see. It knows when the
Yeah.
timestamps are.
The
So
thing
it, when
about
it once
the thing about the metadata is a lot of them were film that I then scanned into digital documents, so it would have a date on them.
Gotcha.
But most of them, but if I go back to my ancient history, so I'm doing ancestor.com right now, and I'm using Google's new in browser in their Chrome. I'm using that to take a look at my people and then try to go back and research older stories. So I'm telling it the archive for my uncle when he was at Harvard University is here. Go research that while I get more information about his death and where he's buried in Belgium. Wow.
So this is something new. This is pro tip context memory. So a markdown file is basically just a text file that is formatted in a specific way that allows the computer to read it easily. Okay. So when you install Gemini, when you do that npm install file, it's actually going to install its own gemini.md folder or file that allows you to give it specific instructions. So now think about this as a Google Gem or a custom GPT. You can tell your AI your specific style for a project. So you can say, you're acting as a senior art director. I want you to use Tailwind CSS. I want you to rename every file with first name underscore last name. The agent reads this file automatically every time you open the folder. And so you can store this. If you have a folder of images, you can drop in a gemini.md file into that folder. And when you open Gemini in that folder, it will read your instructions first.
Okay, I'm going to explain it like a 5-year-old. Let me see if I make sure and fact check me on this. I'm a 5-year-old right now. So one of the things I love about ChatGPT is it has project folders. In a project folder, you could put 20 megabytes and 10 documents in there. That becomes the context. So when I'm writing my book called Grok, it's a whole separate context, a brain, specifically the knowledge of all the Grok stuff I've ever written. When I use my children's book, Imagine, it's a separate set of contexts. That's the MD file?
Yep.
Okay. So if it has that, it knows the name of the characters, and then I can make adjustments to that memory database. Is that what MD stands for?
Markdown.
Markdown language. Okay. I can say I change the name to Laura, keep that name going forward. And so that's persistent memory. Where does that get loaded? So you got a million context window in Gemini itself. Where does that get stored? So
each time you launch the session, it's considering a clean slate.
Okay.
So every time it does not remember between sessions.
Oh, but it's not persistent.
The session itself, it has persistent memory through the Gemini.md file. So it will if you tell it to remember that, it'll make itself notes. So the next time you go into Gemini in that folder, it will remember where it left off. But if you go into another folder, then it's gonna be like, hi, I'm Gemini, how can I help you?
Yeah, so if I understand this correctly, so ChatGPT. Now, my biggest problem with Gemini, maybe this is a solution, is it doesn't make those folders project folders, or does it? And I just don't know how to do it.
No, it doesn't yet, but this is your workaround for that.
Could I have it go into all of my 10,000 conversations and organize and structure them in some way using this tool?
No, your 10,000 conversations exist on the web. This is working on your local hard drive.
Okay.
So if you downloaded all of those 10,000 conversations onto your hard drive, then you could do it.
Oh, okay. Well, and I'm cloning myself too. So I'm actually doing that by going back to the context window and doing a, what do you call it? A summary of all the content in there. And I've looked in ChatGPT, and you can go and take a look at what it's holding in its recent memory as valuable data. So when I said that I won a Pulitzer for being part of the Miami Herald's public service Pulitzer, then I looked at it, and one time I said I won a Pulitzer, and I can't say that I won one. I was part of the team that won the public service Pulitzer. So I went back and I changed that, and then it said there was a note on that date and time from now on, never call it appeal it directly, always call it public. So
Yeah.
I can amend this memory,
Yeah.
and it's not going to have Alzheimer's about making that mistake again, I guess.
Right, exactly. So just a
context
few,
window is huge. Okay.
Yeah, so just a few troubleshooting things. If it's having command not found, maybe you have to make sure you check the add to path is checked when you do it. If you can't, if this is permission denied, you have to use the sudo, the super user do this. And then if you need shell commands, you can toggle shell mode. If that's more of a programming thing, so you not need to worry about that because you can talk to it in plain English. You are now a technical creative. If you install Node.js, install Gemini, and do your first prompt, the command line isn't a barrier. It is the most direct line between your intent and the machine's intelligence. Do not fear the black box.
Or the lobster overlords.
Right.
So this is not as dangerous as doing it that way, right?
Right. So let me go ahead and share my screen for a second, or stop sharing my screen for a second, because what we're going to do is we're going to look at a real life example. So I've already installed Gemini on my Gemini CLI on my device, on my local device.
Now, would you want to go back and forth and use Gemini to give you instructions of how to do the command line or anything like that? Or like I would pre-prompt an image, for example.
No, once it's installed.
Well, I would, you know, if I can load up a picture of a website and make it like this, but there'd be times when I'd need technical advice. How do I get you or Gemini, a version of you, to kind of help me along with getting stuff done?
You can just go to gemini.google.com and say, hey, I'm trying to install Gemini CLI. Once it's installed, it works just like Gemini on your. So once you get past the installation, it gets a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and share this entire window. So what we're looking at here is, and this is on my server, so it's really hard to read, but it says server. So this is my NAS.
Yep.
And this is my artificial intelligence folder. So you can see here I have my AI writing. I have music, Suno songs. I have some other stuff. My healthcare appealer app that I vibe coded. It's just a bunch of stuff. But let's say I wanted to see how many Suno songs I made. The old way to do it is I could just type in Suno into the file search bar, and it's going to say, okay, I found a folder called Suno songs. Great. That doesn't give me the answer that I'm looking for. What I can do is I can right-click on this folder, and I can say open in terminal. So now what that's going to do is it's going to open, and I have to change how I'm sharing so you can actually see this. There we go. Entire window. That's what I wanted. So all I had to do is right-click and say open in terminal. And it's going to bring up Windows PowerShell, which is the same as typing in PowerShell, right?
Okay.
But now by right-clicking and saying open this folder in PowerShell, look where it is. It's open PowerShell, but it's open PowerShell inside of my folder that I'm currently in. So now all I have to say is Gemini. It's like rubbing the magic lamp to have the genie come out. And it takes a minute to go knock on the door and say, hey, Gemini, you're up. And what it does is once it launches, you see Gemini.
Okay.
And so it says Gemini 3 Flash and Pro are now available. So you can ask questions, edit files, or run commands, be specific for best results, and /help for more information. So what I can do is I can just say, how many Suno songs are in this folder? And what it's going to do, see, it's edited the gemini.md folder. It's enumerating the songs. It read the folder. It said there are 38 Suno songs in the Suno songs folder.
Okay.
But how many songs are there total? Because I think I have songs in another folder.
Oh, it's like a subfolder. It's
looking through the entire thing, and it's saying, look beyond the Suno folder for any other music files. And so
So is
now
that going
it's
to go to your
so-
whole hard drive?
no, it's going to look in this folder, but it's
Oh, the
looking
folder,
now
okay.
at the broader context. I kept saying songs instead of music files. And so now that I said,
Okay.
show me music, not songs, now it's looking at other things, and it sound 51 MP3 and WAV files.
Okay. Now, could you
So-
ask it to find the ones with your daughter's name in them or something?
How many were written
Are there any?
about Naomi?
Oh, okay. This
So
is
it's
useful.
evaluating the file names, identifying the music files, re-examining, refining the search,
Holy
reviewing the
cow.
findings. Based on the file, there are 2 songs: Naomi and
Best day
Decker's
ever.
Best Day Ever and Naomi's Day.
Okay, now you got me. For a minute there, I
All right.
almost lost it because I'm like, so
So
you've
wait,
got
so now watch this.
multimodal awareness of those
Yep.
files.
So now you have, if you see here, we have Otto the Octopus Paints the Sea,
Right.
which was one of the stories I did for an OpenAI contest
Sure.
a while ago.
Right.
I can say, but you know what? I have an AI writing folder here. I say, move the octopus into the AI writing folder.
Oh, so it
now-
doesn't have to do Auto the Octopus Paints the Red Sea.
No, it's just
But
saying,
it's
okay,
gonna
but it's going to
do-
find, and it's, yes, I'm going to allow. See, it's checking in. It's like, I think I'm going to do this.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, I want to allow that. And so now if you
Oh,
watch,
wow.
it just disappeared in the background and it moved it into the AI writing folder.
Beautiful. Okay, now you're getting me. All right, so the things it can do that certainly Gemini couldn't do that. I have
Right.
used Gemini in now within Google Drive. It's starting to be able to move folders around, summarize them, summarize the whole folder. One time I asked it to list all the files that are duplicates. It selected those and then deleted them. And I said it had to be exact duplicates. So let me make sure that I understand. It's able to look inside. If it were a video, could it find transcript? Could it find a picture of me wearing a hat in 10 videos? And tell me which videos the hat was worn in. So it's multimodally aware. Wow. At the root level.
So if I go into my videos folder and I say open in terminal, now I'm here and I say Gemini, come talk to me. These are, so I've got a bunch of stuff here.
Well, you got Kyle's birthday. Is there,
yep.
Did someone sing a song?
Naming some words. What is the Naomi video about?
Oh no!
Down by timestamp.
Oh no!
So now I have a video of my daughter making s'mores. It's like a cooking demo video.
Oh, okay. That's for your app you were making, right?
Mm-hmm. And so it's gonna find.
Holy cow!
Okay, so yes, you can watch that. Use a tool to analyze the video.
So what tools does it have at its disposal to?
Yeah, it's trying to figure it out, recalling my limitations. It should be able to do this.
You couldn't say go open Premiere and edit the first 3 seconds out and put a title in there.
So let's say
at least not yet.
I want you, so it can edit it can edit videos. So what the one thing I had it do was all of our shorts that we do for this, I wanted to start adding that end card on.
Okay.
So I gave it the end card and I gave it the videos. I said, can you add this end card to all the videos? And it went through and opened each video, added the end card, saved it out, and exported it out.
What application did it use to do that? Just a QuickTime kind of thing, or?
Yeah, it was just whatever it found
was on there. Okay.
In its tools.
So does it have access to your tools, meaning that Adobe InDesign? I mean, that's my big thing right now. I'm trying to take my slide
on your computer. It does.
Oh, okay.
So
wow.
what
Okay.
can you do with these videos? Doing research on the latest memes.
So
Comedy.
in the terminal, can you double tap and use audio to type like I do all the time?
I mean, if you have an accessibility thing on your computer where you
Yeah,
can,
that's what I do.
then yes.
Okay.
So it can list and locate, it can rename, move, copy, or delete. It can look at metadata indirectly using FFprobe. If FFmpeg was the tool that it used to edit the videos. And it can do external tool orchestration. So if you have command line video processing like FFmpeg, I can execute commands really converting, extracting audio or still frames, trimming or concatenating video.
Wow.
Can you install FFmpeg and extract an image from the Naomi video?
Oh, holy cow. So if you wanted a thumbnail,
smiling.
Oh, wow. Okay. So if you wanted a thumbnail for our YouTube videos, you could extract it right from the show.
Yep.
Which is something that I want to start to do. So here's my train of thinking that, and I wonder if this is our tool to do it. I want to go on the internet and grab all the X and Facebook and whatever things there are, grab the stories and make a Nana Banana slide for a slideshow about, for example, the ability and make it look like a newspaper or a TV show, drop thumbnail, and then grab the text headlines and write a story. So I'm doing that right now. Like literally, that's what I did with last week. I think I said pick the 5 most emergent stories that what did it just do? I saw it flash.
I just opened a new window while you were talking. I'm just opening
Okay.
another instance of Gemini because you can run multiple versions of it at the same time.
Oh, so we multitask, huh?
So it's over here downloading FFmpeg, and in this folder I can say create a nano banana image of a lobster doomsday device. Make it funny.
Okay, whoa. So all the tools that are in Gemini itself, which includes Nana Banana, they're accessible here?
We're about to find out. It can't create images. It can write, edit, and read text code. So if you had an image, it can edit it. But that's why we explore.
But this is the worst it's ever going to be, as they say in AI terms, right?
Exactly. And for a free tool, not that bad.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of what my use cases would be. Definitely, the biggest thing for me is renaming files in sequential order, especially with my book. So I also wanted to look for duplicate copies, which I think I could probably do just with Gemini itself. They're now opening up more capabilities within Google Drive. I think one of the security risks that they were worried about is if it said, here's all duplicate files and somehow it made a mistake, you could wipe out all of your Google Drive. I guess that's why they're going slow.
But you have to give it permission.
Yeah.
So now it's installed. It's installed FFmpeg.
Okay. Play probe. Okay.
And we say, yes, extract something, or extract an image from the time of 000100. I think ChatGPT is on the back foot at the moment. Yes, exactly. So I say, yes, I allow it. They're playing catch up.
Oh, okay.
ChatGPT OpenAI is playing catch up. So now it's trying to find and do all the things. And I didn't check assign the path, so it's not going to work. But you get the idea. It has the ability to edit your
I'm starting to think of, so I'm going back and forth with all these different tools. I've kind of said to myself, Google is where I'm going to invest,